You are listening to ZTO Radio.
Punk rock is a word used by dilettantes and heartless manipulators about music that takes up the energies and the bodies and the hearts and the souls and the time and the minds of young men who give what they have to it.
Welcome to ZTO Radio. I am Frank. We got Ray McGuff. We got Scotty Two Arms. Still got two arms.
Still barely got two thumbs.
Oh, yeah, almost lost it.
Almost lost the thumb.
Stabbed himself real good.
Oh, how'd that happen?
I was trimming a loin of ribeye.
Oh, yeah.
Tetanus.
Oh.
And I stabbed a
You
knife into
got
my
the
hand.
bite.
Yeah. The thing I wanted to talk about up front was an experience I had that I haven't shared with you guys yet that I think you'll appreciate. Maybe I have. Maybe I've told you. I'm not sure. But I work at a retail establishment, and sometimes I get saddled with operating that damn register up front. Most of the time, I'm just dealing with my section of the store. But sometimes I have to work a Friday night, which every time I work a Friday night in Kenton, Ohio, at the liquor store, it's really the night where the freaks come out in the town. So I'm running the register, and this guy comes in. He's humongous. He's like giant. He's probably a foot taller than me and like 200 pounds more, almost, or something like that. But so he comes up to me and says, "Do you want to arm wrestle?" And I'm like ringing his bottles up. And I'm like, no, I don't want to arm wrestle. and he says, do you want to, how about some bench presses? You want to do a bench press contest? And I was like, no. I wanted to say, that's an unnatural way to lift anything anyways. Why would I ever do that? What am I preparing for?
Maybe underneath a car?
That's the only thing I could think of when I sat down.
Lifting a car off you.
So after I declined his offer to lift some weights, he says, how about an IQ test? Do you want to go head to head there? And I was like, no. And then he tells me his IQ, which was whatever the hell it was. And, I'm like in Bizarre Town now. And I'm like, okay, well, is that it for you? I had to give him his total. And then he goes, he gives me the money. And there's some change. He owes some change. He gives me the exact bills, but there's a little bit of change there. It's like 8 cents. And I'm trying to get him out of there, of course.
Right.
And he says, I say, I probably got 8 cents in this jar here. And he's like, oh, I've got 8 cents. Hold on just a minute. And he says, you wouldn't believe how much change I've got. I've got $10,000 in rolled change at my house. You try to steal that. Go ahead, try to steal it. You can steal $10,000 if it's in bills. But go ahead and try to steal it rolled up change.
Are you kidding me with
this? Is one interaction.
Yeah, that would ruin my whole day.
Okay, so the night goes on. There's more people that are not that bad, but very insane. Drunk people coming in, already drunk. We got to gauge whether or not it's they're.
Of course,
right?
Because you're the one that's going to be in trouble.
Right.
You ruined your life, and this they get a little. Tiny little bottle of something. That's the one that puts them over the edge. That's even though they were already way up here, they're gone. Just, you gave them the bottle that ended it all. It's your fault, Frank.
So this is why I hate Friday nights. So it's terrible. We got to lock the doors, and I'm standing outside, waiting with the pharmacist who's a lady and my manager who's a lady, and this truck drives up, and this guy has the window rolled down, and he goes, "Hey man, you getting laid?" And I'm like, I go, "I hate this town. I hate this town. I hate this town." And then they go over to Wendy's, which is right next door, and they're going to the drive-thru, and they still got the window rolled down, and I'm just going, fuck, and they yell, "Hey man, get that shit," or something like that, from all the way over
across the street.
Yeah.
They're in Wendy's too, which is even better. I'll have a cheeseburger. Hold on. Get in there.
So that's what I was thinking about you because when you moved back here, you're like, well, what do you do here if you like go out and you get some drinks, and how do you get home? There's no Uber, there's no
Lyft.
And I said, well, I think you just drive drunk. This town's just full of them.
The taxi cab company here yelled at them.
Oh, yeah?
Because they screwed up my rental, so I can never use the taxi cab. I said some very bad things to them. They'll remember me.
Well, what can you do? Anyways, let's get into some music here. We got from Cincinnati, Ohio, a band called Lockjaw, who's going to be coming on the Gloomy show this spring. This is a song called Parvo. And following that will be a band from Canton, Ohio called Divorce Horse. Song's Same Old Ghost. We'll be right back.
Show you that how much about that motherfucker I am. The people say I got a bad fucking attitude. The rage they confused like I got nothing to lose. I move, motherfucker, you try to win. And then you got here and build your head. And I think that I've had enough. One more goddamn thing and I will take this gun and put it against you.
This is Radioland, huh? The infinite turtle, the waves through the ether fuzz roll on forever. Roar!
Guaranteed that much, and I don't know which route let's reach.
music is my life.
Elvis Presley groomed
That's true.
underage girl,
Yeah.
and everybody gives him a pass.
Well, he was the king of rock and roll. R. Kelly's the
Roy
king
Moore
of R&B,
does it.
right?
He's a dirty old man.
Yeah.
But if it's Elvis, it's fucking Elvis. Who didn't want to?
Right.
I was 15, and I was
You
okay.
would've done it.
It doesn't matter if I was born. I still would have done
What,
it.
Elvis?
Yeah. I didn't know what was going on with all the hormones back then. If Elvis walked in and he was like,
"Hey Scott, won't you hop in my pink Cadillac?"
Scott, you haven't been to
Pink
Graceland?
Cadillac.
yeah, I'd be like, whatever you want.
No, I've never been
Whatever you
there.
want.
You ain't never been there.
And I wouldn't even be ashamed of it. I'd be like, yeah, he really did some weird shit to me, but like, it was awesome.
You know what's good after a hard butt fucking? Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Somebody is going to specifically
With
be mad
bananas.
that we're taking the king down a notch.
Oh, fuck the king.
Like,
Literally.
leave a comment. That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
He was a hero.
He was a hero.
Don't be cruel.
Yeah.
It's just a little poo on your dick from loving you.
Here's some poo. All right.
Okay.
Oh, were we back?
We're back now.
That was the
geez.
back. That was the back.
All right, back to back.
I wanted to talk to you guys about how people are having a hard time identifying what blackface is anymore. Have you noticed that?
You mean identifying what it is?
Yeah, because
Or what it
like,
means.
like you know those charcoal masks, the black
Yeah.
charcoal masks.
Yeah.
I recently saw an article that said that those are offensive and.
But you can't.
racist.
There's no white charcoal.
Right, and also someone had made a big fuss about this photograph of coal miners drinking at a pub that had charcoal all over their
Yes,
faces.
because they're coal miners. I mean, look, if you're going to openly mock somebody with a situation like that, like if you were a coal miner and then you went immediately over, to a black guy
Right.
and said, that is offensive.
Right.
But if you're going after work to have a drink, that's not offensive.
It's
if
a
you're putting a charcoal mask on, you're a vain bitch, and I don't like you anyways.
And that's offensive to
Yeah.
even question that, because you're
Right.
like, you walk up to a guy in a bar like, hey, you should clean that off. It's really offensive. You should see how much of that shit's in my lungs.
Yes.
How much of it I
Black
can't
lines.
clean off. So
Yeah.
you think I give
I
a fuck
picture him-
about what's on my face right
Right.
now?
I'm trying to have a beer.
I
and
can't
go
even
home.
hardly move. I can't
Yeah,
breathe.
exactly. I picture he coughs out like a good chunk of coal dust, and then
Gives
he
it-
goes,
rubs it with
"Ma'am, I'm
diamonds."
sorry. I'll go wash it off."
Yeah. Excuse your feelings. I'm sorry. Hold on. It's a diamond for you.
But this
Yeah,
is
but who are
somebody-
these people?
this
Though?
is
Who are
some- I
these
don't
people?
know.
Are like they're just random.
There's a fringe of the left wing people now. Like there's liberal,
Yeah.
and then there's like this extreme liberal where there's like nutty.
I agree. Try not to put your hand in front of my face, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's liberal.
God.
No,
Screen time.
I'm not that vain. Don't worry. Yeah, you're right though.
I talk with my hands.
It is really.
Yeah.
It's almost predominantly left wing, and
And they're,
the
like,
Christian
offended by
people have
everything.
their own weird shit. But this is specifically like a
I mean, look, if I
overprotection.
gotta pick, if you guys are
of-
going to put us into a war with your left and right, and I gotta pick, hey, white Christianity, I'm probably going to go with that because they're going to put me in charge.
You're going to do pretty well.
Yeah, I'm going to be all right.
And that's not a bad
And so
thing
liberals-
to think for yourself.
Right, I want to be
understand.
on your side, liberals. But if you put me in a war, I will fucking be on the side that wins.
Don't put Randy in a corner.
Yeah, don't put me in a war where all I have to do is go, oh yeah, I believe in magic and I hate everybody, but that's not this. I'm eating a sandwich now over here with the people that are eating, and you guys are fighting. Get
Yeah.
them.
It's hard to convince somebody
Yeah.
who's never had privilege
Yeah,
that they're privileged because of the way they look.
exactly.
A poor white person, if you say yours white privilege, they're like, what?
It's
What privilege am I? They don't understand it, on a basic level, like the way
Right.
different ways you get treated. Like I brought up the SUV that had the family on the back of it,
Right.
and had one had guns, and you pull up behind them. And says my family's all guns. There's 0%. It's an Escalade. It's an Escalade.
yeah.
So in Black Escalade, and I said there is 0% chance this black person driving.
Right. Oh, yeah.
0% chance. They would never put guns on the back of their car. So that's the definition right there. If anybody has trouble explaining it, that's what it is.
Well,
it's being a white person and not thinking twice about doing that.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you're not privileged. We don't feel, you know, I don't feel
and that's the
like a
fucked up
privileged
thing about,
class of person.
About all of it is, at the end of the day, here we are talking about it. We're not even important, you know. Like people that are important should be helping and fixing things. And, and like if we can see it, we're down here on the bottom rung. Like, hey, we get it. They got to do shit. I don't know what to do. I say let's kill all of them, but nobody wants to be on my page. You know?
No, it can't just be treat
Let's
people
take all the politicians
right.
out
You
and
have
start
to,
over.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you can't just treat people right. You gotta be
imagine
extra. You gotta know all the little things.
If all the
that
politicians
people don't
just
like.
vanished and everybody was like, wait a minute, something's different, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, we can just talk to each other and stuff.
Well,
we can just decide.
I think there's
Right.
one that needs to stay around.
Who's that?
And he's back. He's back. Bernie is back.
He's feeling the
Bernie
burn.
is
I feel
back.
it burn.
Bernie is back.
He's
He ain't messing around.
I love that he comes right out of the gate and says, they're like, hey, did you hear Donald Trump was tweeting about it? He's like, I don't give a fuck about that guy. Fuck that racist dude. I'm talking about serious stuff.
Yeah. Well, they one of the CBS reporters quoted like Howard Schultz, who's a
Right.
Starbucks CEO.
Yeah.
And his reaction is fucking great because he's like, well, Howard Schultz said that Medicare for all is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, boy. Yeah.
Howard Schultz said.
Howard Schultz, huh? You know why? You know why? You know, you're quoting him right now? Because he's a billionaire.
Bernie hates
It just went,
billionaires.
it was so great. But think about it, quantify, you know, what you make a good salary in this country. I think $50,000 a year is a good, you know, if you can't make your life work with $50,000 a year, you're just a shitty person.
Yeah, I made my life work for way lower.
That's you know, and for that you'd have to work 20,000 years at that salary, 20,000 years to make $1 billion. And you're telling me this guy is not only allowed to have one of those, but he's allowed to have as many as he wants.
The funny thing about
$148 million, a billion. Sorry.
The funniest thing about our country is most really right-wing people are the people that are in these factories, fucking working their hands to the bone. They work their way up the ladder. They get paid well for their job. They buy the big trucks. And they get mad at people that are on welfare.
Oh yeah,
they don't get mad. They don't get mad that the guy up here that owns the company
is on the same type of welfare
because he wears a suit.
Think about, and then if they would think about how many hours that their shit ass factory jobs sweating and dying every day slowly. If they thought about how many hours that guy would have to work to make the money he has, they would be like, in a different direction.
I Jeff Bezos, how much money he has. If I was to work my job for an infinite length of time, if I was immortal, I could work my job at my salary to make what Jeff Bezos has. I would have to work 2.5 million years.
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? Is he really that good?
I mean, what's
anything?
enough?
Is anybody really that good at anything?
All he did was put books online to sell. That was
he
his big
makes
idea.
more than we do in a year in now. Just now that happened. Just a second, like that. That's how much he makes.
Right.
Makes it my yearly salary. Just made it again.
If it was caveman times, if it was caveman times, it would have been like he discovered an efficient. In nowadays times, he created an efficient way to sell things on the internet that people enjoy.
Yes.
If it was caveman times, it would be the same thing with fire. That guy that made fire, it would be like if they brought him all the fucking fish.
But what needed to happen when Amazon came around is we needed the post office to actually innovate. You know, they lose money, which is fine because it's an essential service. Post office really is. Like you said, they lose this much. Yeah, but they employ people. So it's not losing. They always look at it like you lost money. But with the post office, you're paying people, and they go spend that money in places, and they take care of their families. But the post office could have done what UPS and FedEx, they could have took that extra step And, you know, if the minimal investment that it would have took to get there,
Right.
you would have, people would be government employees, but guess what? They get government insurance, and, you know, the benefits are
Right.
better than what Amazon is giving right now. And basically all the people that sell stuff could have got together. They have a fucking portal, and, you know, you buy stuff from them.
Right.
And they send it to you at a whatever minimal cost, and nobody behind the scenes is, like, raking in the money. You just get savings. You just, you know, you paid less for things.
I actually,
we don't need a billionaire.
When you said portal, I literally thought you meant
So did I.
an open fold in space and time. And then I was like, no, he means a fucking internet portal.
Yeah.
Why would I jump to that conclusion?
I was on the same page.
I'm like, why
Your
did I
portal,
think
I think,
a
fucking-
folded space portal?
I'll tell you why. There's a reason, but let's move into some music. Up first, we have Caldera from Indianapolis, Indiana, with a song called "Unhinged," and then we're gonna follow that up with our friends in Morning Theft from Columbus with Skeleton Twins. We will be right back. realized that I'm really outdated and lame last night because, or not last night.
Very true.
It is true, but I was talking to my wife, and she hasn't seen a lot of movies that I have, and I referenced something that happened. I referenced the scene from Ernest Goes to Jail, where he busts the pen, and she's like, I don't know what you mean. And I was like, the scene in Ernest Goes to Jail where he's in jury duty and he has the pen in his mouth and it breaks and there's ink all over and he has paper and he tries to wipe it up. It's I started laughing like out loud just describing this, and I'm like, man, I am so fucking lame and old that I'm laughing out loud at the description of a scene from Ernest. But then I watched it. I watched it online. Stands up.
Still funny.
Still funny. Made me laugh out loud again. So maybe I'm not as lame and old as I thought.
Yeah, I got Ernest Saves Christmas. So.
I feel old all the time.
Yeah.
At work, especially with that kind of stuff, because I'll make a reference that's not even, it's like a decade reference, or 20 years. Something from my teenage years, and people will go, what's that? Oh, I don't watch old movies. What, from the 90s? I mean, when does your movie...
I'm still watching movies that I haven't seen from the 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
You don't get around to like watching every movie.
Yeah.
I watch something. Oh man, how did they not experience that when I was younger?
Like, have you seen Office Space? Yes, I have. I saw it on opening
Yeah,
night.
it is funny
And
when
nobody else did.
When you have younger people like
Yeah.
bringing something up like they discovered it.
Oh yeah.
You're like, yeah, I know who Cheech and Chong are.
And I feel really old because I'll be like, yeah, and then they'll come back to me and go, well, or I didn't like this because of this, and I'll be like, well, okay. But then I start to think, man, I am 20 years older than this person. Maybe my tastes are completely different. Maybe I am lame now. I still listen to bands from I have a fucking Nothing Face CD I bought when I was 19 years old in my car right now.
I actually on the way up here we were talking, so it was turned down, but there's Cold Chamber playing in my car right now.
I thought I heard it. I was like, no.
Sometimes I'll just take an old band like that, and I have all that old shit on CDs and stuff.
Me too.
So I throw it in my car. And I'm like, let's give it a try. I did Rob Zombie the other day. Does not hold up for me as much.
There's some
of it I like.
I put the 90s, 2000s
on
in there, and
there's a lot of songs I can deal with. Hellbilly Deluxe is all right. A lot of the songs in there I can deal with. His really new stuff, his newer new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
There's a song called "Educated Horses." Have you heard that?
Yes, I have.
What the fuck does that mean?
They're smart horses, man.
Don't you wanna ride it?
Educated horses. It would be better than being an uneducated horse. Educated horse is one that's been trained.
Why is it?
So it's a smoother ride. I don't know.
Why the fuck is Rob Zombie?
you didn't think you would have like a defense for that.
But think about it. Look at how he represents himself with the dusty hair and the dreadlocks and the makeup.
Yeah.
And he's singing about, like you said,
educated horses.
like a good horse.
This is a horse that's good, man. It's like when you're watching an old Western, the horse that they ride for days, that's educated horse.
Knows the trails. Knows how to go across the river.
That's right.
Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what, though, man. People will tell you, like, there's this nostalgia for that time period of music. The new metal is kind of like having a nostalgia resurgence. Don't listen to people because a lot of this stuff is not holding up.
I don't know, man. I like more stuff from then than I did now.
Oh,
you know,
really?
like I branched out. I've even like stuff that Palmer would play for me that I always would make. I'd be like, this is fucking terrible. I can't understand a word they're saying. Now I love it. You know, what was I listening to not too long ago? It was something that Meshuggah.
Oh, Meshuggah's not new metal. They're still good.
No, I'm just saying, like, it was something I didn't like back then that you guys were all into, and now I've listened to their entire discography.
Meshuggah's great.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, people will tell you Limp Bizkit's still good.
No.
There's, like, a lot of nostalgia for Korn.
Yeah.
And
Like,
Yeah, it's on Sirius a lot.
I did hear Love
They play
Fool
a
the
lot
other
of
day
Korn,
on the
but
radio.
What is that?
Love me,
Oh,
say
yeah.
that
That
you
holds up.
love me, fool me, fool me.
That
And
is
it-
a good jam.
And I was just singing along to it, driving to work.
What's
I
the-
can't see through you. So you.
What's the one time? There's one song that I always get. Oh, God, something about night. It's gonna be a cool night, baby. You know that song?
I do.
Yeah.
What's the guy?
Gary something.
Yeah.
I don't know that song. I listen to that all the time. I don't know the name of the dude.
No.
But I'll be like Alexa,
Play Cool Night.
play Cool Night, and she gets it every time. But now my kids have changed it to you can change what you call that thing. You don't have to call it Alexa. I don't know how they figured out how to do
Oh, I
it.
have no
But
idea.
they have it to where you have to say computer. Computer. It's the stupidest.
That's like Star Trek. Yeah, I like it.
It's the stupidest thing ever.
Number 1, beam me up.
But anyways, let's get into some music here from Dayton, Ohio. Gloomy Weather with a song called Sacrafice. And then we're going to follow that up with a band from Marquette, Michigan called Ernest. Ernest. Spelled two different ways.
Ernest. Oh, so like
because he's
Earnest.
Earnest.
Ernest.
The man is Earnest.
yeah.
And
But he's also Earnest.
I like that. Tell them I like that.
I'll write that down. Ernest. Ray likes it.
I like it.
Unconfident is that song. And then we'll be right back.
All right. I wanna run away forever. I wonder if anyone cares. Oh, I've ended up. I am aware, but the truth holds you back. When the good things don't last, everyone is conceited. You only care about the past. About the past. And all the cut is gonna get hard. Yeah, this life you built has slowly fell apart. And piece by piece, slowly away. But a sacrifice, a sacrifice is always more fun. Alright. And I guess the months will just pass. The time burned away like a cigarette. Memories will forget. But there's nothing I regret. I'm just gonna get hard. Yeah, this life you built has slowly fell apart. And piece by piece, slowly new it was. But a sacrifice, a sacrifice, a sacrifice. A sacrifice is always more fun.
this is my confession. Like you said in hero words, getting over this is the hardest thing you've ever done. 'Cause it's gonna get hard. Yeah, this life you built has slowly fell apart. And piece by piece, slowly knew it would. But a sacrifice, a sacrifice, a sacrifice. A sacrifice is always more. Fun.
Fuck, man! That's some good shit!
Hey,
Are we though?
We are.
I think.
are we recording?
We're recording.
Are you in there?
Is this real life?
It's just
Actually,
fantasy.
Yeah. Caught in a landslide.
I don't know the word.
No escape from reality. If you go low, I gotta go high.
Open your eyes.
Well, you had some stuff you wanted to talk about.
I did, actually.
Oh boy.
That's not it. That's it. Okay.
It's got pages.
It does. A couple of things. First and foremost, since we're all movie fans, Oscars are tomorrow. Mm-hmm. And I've watched a few Oscar films. I wrote down all the nominated Best Pictures, okay?
Yep.
And I kind of wanted to touch base with you guys on it, because I watched Oscar-nominated film Roma last night on Netflix.
Like the tomato?
I guess. I couldn't tell you, Scott.
Is it?
Because you know what the movie's about? Maybe. It's the arts picture I've ever seen, and it made me want to kill myself. But we'll get
So it'll win.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, but here, I want to run down real quick. These are all the pictures that are nominated for Best Picture tomorrow night. Bohemian Rhapsody.
Nope.
The Favorite, which I never heard of.
No.
Guys heard of it?
No.
Black Panther.
Yeah, never.
Black Klansman. Green Book. Vice. about President Dick Cheney. Oh man, it was good.
Oh, really?
Adam McKay. Oh
Yeah, I'm waiting for that one to come out before I watch it. But yeah,
Star is Born
Ugh.
was a remake. I actually like that Gaga song, Radio Gaga, Goo Goo, whatever her name.
Did you
is.
see? By the way, speaking of that,
Hold on, one more.
Okay.
And Roma, which I wanted to get in there again. Roma is nominated.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so go on.
But you were talking about the Star is Born. Did you see the Grammys?
No, I do not watch
Okay.
award shows.
It is
That's-
it is a nightmare of a show.
Yeah.
Bad music performances. But Martha was skimming through all the acts. She got to Lady Gaga's performance of that song.
Oh yeah.
Bradley Cooper's not there. He must have had shit to do. I don't know. I don't know why you would do that song and not have him there. Because there's a man thing. So what Lady Gaga does is like this husky,
Oh, she sang a husky
she
voice?
sang his parts, but in like a husky
Yeah.
kind of, and she was standing like a man, kind of, Didn't work, man. Didn't work.
Wow. Honestly, I heard that song on the radio, and I kind
I
of
was
thought it
gonna
was
say,
alright.
was Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand?
Yep.
Yeah.
I know Judy Garland was in one of them.
Yeah, that was, and then there's,
But they've remade it.
like,
Is this
yeah.
the fifth time? I think it's the fifth
Well, yeah.
time technically, because I think it started off as a foreign film that was remade
can a
in
remake be
America.
up
Now
for-
this is the fourth reiteration
I think you're right.
in
I
the
think
new.
there's at
So
least
I
four
think
of them.
that's
I
five.
thought there was a rule where you couldn't be a remake and be.
No, that's not a rule.
Huh.
Yeah, they lightened a lot of rules up because it turns out people don't like the Oscars,
And
so they're trying to
they
get
just
more
don't
stuff.
figure a host is necessary.
Right. Well,
Like, we're just gonna go hostless.
I haven't
for the
seen
night.
A Star Is Born, but I thought it looked good. So you guys haven't seen it either?
No.
I would watch it if it was on and I
Right.
I
didn't
would
feel
not
like
watch it. I will
changing
not
the
watch
channel.
it.
I wanted to bring this up because here's my prediction: Black Klansman. Spike Lee hasn't won an Oscar ever,
Mhm.
and
Oh,
he's
really?
been nominated. But so I think this might be his film. His what's the guy's name? Is choreographer, and he does the audio too.
Yeah.
Is nominated for the soundtrack, and it all sounds like Jimi Hendrix music. It's amazing. If you get a chance, you should check out the soundtrack. But I watched this movie, and let me tell you, really fucking good, funny. I mean, Spike Lee went for like comedy, and
Oh,
and it was like, it was like Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Like, it's that kind of comedy where
Okay.
there's situations going on that are funny in the way that people respond to it. But man, I think he might win, and I think that people should see that. This was the best movie I saw out of all these. A close second, Bohemian Rhapsody, because I liked the way they did the story was cool. But I honestly think that Vice was good. Green Book I haven't seen, but it's something I like. Viggo Mortensen, and that Marshall Ali guy is a really good actor. Been watching on True Detective. But what do you guys think? Like, have you seen, which movies have you seen in this?
I have seen none of those movies.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I
I just
it's-
don't Bohemian Rhapsody. I don't know. I don't think like what of it. He pretended to be a dude that you can't sing like the performance and all
He
that
was
stuff.
Really good at playing Freddie Mercury. I mean,
Would it have been better with Sacha Baron Cohen?
yes.
Okay.
Well, I think he
You
wanted
know,
to make a
I
different
know
movie.
it's the movie necessarily, not the actor.
These
so it's
guys
a little
wanted
bit
to,
different.
Yeah,
But
these guys wanted to make a biography movie. He wanted to do a Freddie Mercury biography. They did a biography, like a filmography about this is how we got to be a band, and this is how we got to be successful. And Freddie was a pretty front man. Like, he was pretty out there.
yeah,
They wanted Sacha Baron Cohen wanted to do a Freddie Mercury story about everything from his life, and then with that in the background, and those guys that are alive didn't want to do that. That's
Yeah.
why they got. That's the way I feel, because
Yeah.
this kid's good, but you're right. Why wouldn't you get somebody that could fucking
but now
sing too?
it's opened up the Pandora's box
Yeah.
because they went from superhero movies. Now since this is so popular,
Yeah.
they got Elton John.
Rocket Man, I'm going to see it.
I
Be the front
believe
row.
they're doing a Motley Crue.
Yeah, Dirt. That's
One and they're probably gonna be cool.
yeah.
But I just gotta tell you right now, don't touch Skinnerd. I know that story's good with the plane crash, because the band
bet
lasted
they
for like
do,
a short
dude.
period of time. Do not fucking touch them.
You can do
if
it.
you have people that can't play the instruments and nobody that sounds like
If you
Ronnie
do
Van
it-
Zant, fucking stop
if you
right
do
now.
it as a supernatural thriller, where the plane crash happens and then the spirits haunt the swamp that it's in.
That's a different story because that's not a musical. That's not a musical.
Well, then you
story,
put the
so
music of Skinner over top of it.
I'm okay with that. But if you have
Yeah,
some
they're
people
gonna
that
look at
can't
they're gonna
play,
look at the logistics of the whole thing. They're gonna say, look how big Bohemian Rhapsody
Well-
was. Buddy Holly back in the day won.
That was
one.
and so did La Bamba.
Right. So,
yeah, I guess they go
They've
through
been
phases.
doing it for
so
the '80s were ate up with it at the
okay,
end.
so you're right. It might be like working its way back around because
I'm down
Rocket
with it.
Man's more of a musical, right?
Yeah, well, it's a.
I've
it's a
seen the
biography,
preview had like dance numbers,
but
and
it's going to be
stuff
like when he
in the
does
streets,
drugs.
so-
Then they're going to do like a full-on musical performance of one of his songs. Dude, I'm going to be
Okay,
there. It's going to be
like
I'm
I
gonna be
can
there.
I can dig
Yes.
that, and the guy
Yeah.
actually sings and plays piano.
Yeah, so he's doing his own.
So, and it
interpretation.
doesn't sound. I heard some of it. Doesn't sound exactly like
No, but Elton John
but
said
I'm okay with.
he was impressed with, because I watched a little video about it. Elton John said he was impressed that the kid took it and said he didn't ask permission. He just said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it like Elton John would. I'm going to do it my way. And so he sang his songs those songs his way. And Elton John was like, yeah, this is fucking brilliant. This is what I want. If somebody's going to play me, they need to be doing their own shit. So I love it.
Yeah.
So the songs are great. I mean, they're still really well done, obviously.
Yeah.
But his voice is a little different, so he gets a little bit more rock and rolly with it. I think, like almost
good,
bluesy,
which is
It's
good,
fucking good.
yeah.
Yeah.
So out of the ones you said, I think the Klansman,
Yeah.
Spike Lee wins. Well, it's
And
not Best Director,
Denzel-
but I think he's up for Best Director as well, right?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Denzel Washington's son is the main character,
Oh, yeah.
and he's fucking fantastic.
I think that they'll either give it to Black Panther or
A Star Is Born.
no Klansman
Okay.
because of
Well-
the social like
Well, if you're going to do that, Roma
The Green Book as well.
and Green
is
Book
a-
too.
is a-
Yeah,
it's
Green
a-
Book's about that.
It's
yeah.
a true story about a musical relationship between a white guy and a black piano player.
Yeah,
So
the
that's
Green Book was-
another one that's kind of like on that line.
The
So
Green
it's
Book
really hard to
was
tell.
like a rule book for that for black people in the South, that they could go to certain restaurants and things and stay that were friendly. And that's where the title comes from. That's what I heard on the radio.
Okay.
I didn't know that until and again, our history classes as kids are fucking stupid, man. I don't know shit. That's what I learned as an adult.
I learned everything
How do I
almost
not know
everything
that?
I know about history from other.
How did I
one
know?
of the other, I think it's in the mix there with the Oscars. I don't know what for, but I think it's nominated a couple times as First Man. I just watched it.
Oh, Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, playing Neil Armstrong, and I didn't.
It wasn't
I
up
didn't
for
care
Best Picture,
it.
but it was up for I think some kind of technical, because it was about
Okay,
space. You know?
but dude, it was not. I could make a better space movie about Neil Armstrong. It's exposition. I'm sorry, I'm an old school person. I like exposition. You know,
Well,
and
if you like
Apollo
exposition-
13 was perfect with that, and
you should watch Roma, because that's all it was. It was exposing
But not-
this maid, and then
Too much.
no story happens.
not too much. I want them to explain what's going on. That's why I said I like the style of Apollo 13, because you have all these historical. I think they had like Walter Cronkite, talking a couple times in it, but
Yeah.
you got to have that perspective, and it wasn't. It was just
Yeah.
kind of all over the place. There's a lot of staring. I'm like, Neil Armstrong wasn't like. There was actually talking going on while they were in the capsules. Like, they had to communicate with Houston, and it's
Right.
like there's all these weird emotional moments. I'm like, the guy's a fucking astronaut, and if I know anything, is that like what Apollo 13 did? They embellished,
Right.
Which is okay, but they never like yelled at each other. You used to watch the movie. Those guys didn't yell at each other. They're like in space, 1,000,000 miles away from Earth, about to die. They're like, yeah, so we checked the CO2 tank. If you did the actual movie, it would be boring.
Right.
But I would be okay with that personally.
Yeah.
Just because it's more
Accurate.
nerded out. And I was so into the space program back in the day. I was super disappointed. And I
That's just yeah.
I paid money to watch it, and that was the thing that got me. I'm like,
Oh,
you
man,
know,
there's
they
nothing worse than that.
never deal with like they should do a movie about space, like where some astronauts go to space, come back. They never use there's so much comedy that you could do whenever they come back, because like the first time they went to space, they didn't know that when you're up there and there's no gravity, that that when you come back to Earth, that you're going to be like, whoa, you know, like so because now like astronauts work out when they're up there.
Yeah, you're right.
They have special exercise equipment so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
But the first time.
Yeah,
they didn't know that shit.
Oh no!
Yeah. So they come back. I'll just collapse.
Apollo 11, they spent 30 days or whatever. They got that part right. Like they spent a period of time after being on the moon in quarantine,
right?
Because they were like, well, what kind of fucking diseases are there up on? So that was like a step they took because they didn't have any clue how the shit would happen.
Back moon AIDS.
But yeah, there was like a little bit of comic relief in it. It was Buzz Aldrin, which is. I kind of like Buzz, so but yeah, he made a joke about the dead guys, like the guys that burned up at Apollo 1.
He made a joke about
it, not a joke, but like, hey, that's the reason I'm on this mission, and type thing. And like Buzz is awesome because I saw him punch out a flat earther once.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That was fucking great. He's like 80 years old. He's punk.
So because we're so close, have you all been to the Neil Armstrong space?
Oh yeah, many times.
You've never been there?
School field trips?
Yeah.
No. Oh no, this is what I did on school field trips. I said I'm just gonna stay in class, and then because all the assholes go, and then I'm there with just my friends hanging out watching fucking
I did that in high
Sandlot,
school, and but like. In grade school, don't you remember?
We never went on one in grade school.
I love it.
That sucks. We went I felt like we went every year.
Yeah, I think we went a couple of times.
We went to a lot of places. We went to.
It was a lot. It looks a lot bigger when you're a kid. So it's like this infinite fucking museum. And then you go there as an adult. You're like,
we took my nephew.
This place is pretty small.
When my nephew was like 5 or 6 to it, and that was the first time I had been as an adult. I was like 25, and I went, yeah, this place is a lot different, but it's cool, I love that stuff too. I eat it up when I watch the universe. I'll be flipping the Discovery Channel around, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah, 4 hours of this. This is my night now."
Yeah,
because I love to hear about this. Just thinking about how vast. I mean, that it just I can't even put into words. Like my mom got mad at me once because I said we were talking about people going to Mars, and I was just like, "Yeah." I go, I would volunteer for any of that. If they were like, Randy, we want to shoot you into a black hole. We don't know what will happen. You will probably die. I would do it. You know why? Because that last bit before I died, I'd at least know what the inside of a black hole is.
Yeah, I really hope that
would be amazing.
I really hope that stuff like that is an option.
Yeah.
In the future, like if you have some terminal disease,
right?
Obviously, they'll figure out how to get to a black hole before they figure out how to cure cancer.
Yeah,
that's obvious. We all know that. But like if you're terminal, they say you're going to die. Why couldn't you be like, hey, you know that thing you were wanting to do?
Right. Send me.
Can I go?
Because what if not? What if on the other side of that you live, and now you're in another fucking dimension, and you're living, and you get to New Earth, and New Earth's. This is hot in New Earth. If you get there and it's all a bunch of schlubs, and I'm like, yeah.
I guess you
sorry,
you really went deep. You thought really hard.
I'm just saying, like, if there was something that I discovered, and I would be living that, it would be like all those fucking movies I loved as a kid, where like Planet of the Apes, where I'm now a leader. I'm now somebody important because I came in on a space shuttle.
You're the smartest guy on fucking planet.
Maybe you find that planet from Futurama where it's those Amazon women.
Right, exactly.
They want to make
death by smush smush. Yeah. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, there are vast, infinite answers, right? Probably dead, more than likely. But I would do that. I would risk.
You would know.
I would at least know.
Speaking of space, did you hear about the that? I think it was a telescope picked up some sort of audio signal from.
Yeah,
like 100 million light years away or something.
It's a nebula, and it's got it's a bunch of new stars, like newer stars. I mean, at least as far as we can gauge that stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and the article I read, headline was probably aliens,
right?
Because there's no explanation.
But when you think about it was like some billion light years away or something. When you think about if we sent a signal back. How long it would be before they actually received it. We would all be dead.
Well, yeah.
By the time it got there, the planet would be completely different. And
the person that's in charge of like listening, I'm sure somebody that has to sit there and like just listen to nothing all day long. Yeah. That person probably shit themselves.
Oh, dude!
Like when because they know they already know that
picture it
there's no
like
other explanation.
The sound from was that Close Encounters, that piano thing. Yeah.
Well, I imagine it's just like a Hendrix riff.
But if you think about it in the scale of time, the Earth's how old? 14 billion years. Life has existed for 4 billion, and then it has gotten us to this point. Well,
I think that
it could have rationally got there a lot sooner.
Right.
Just even the right circumstances with the right
I think that
beings.
our Earth has been reset several times. I think that
humanity or the Earth.
Humanity.
Okay, I might agree with you there
because I think that our race has died out several times from its own accord or from natural causes because any number of things could fucking destroy every human, and then of course assholes don't ever want to believe there's so much shit under the ocean, there's so much shit that we haven't found.
Plus, think about how, and at least in our society, religion has stifled us at every fucking turn, every big turn.
Technically they say we started 6,000 years ago.
Right.
They put a cap on it, be like, well, this is how it started.
We can't even...
Motherfucker, you don't know. Nobody knows.
We can't even get them to stop saying that, things that are basic like, I get to decide what this lady does with her body, okay? Why? Because I believe in a magic guy who didn't like it. He doesn't like that stuff, so... Because magic guy...
The Bible actually encourages abortion. Look it up.
As it should.
It tells you that if you suspect your wife of cheating on you and getting pregnant, that you give her poison, and then if it aborts, then you kill her because she cheated on you.
Well,
but if it doesn't, then everything's good.
I think they get more pissed off about not the semantics of it, but about the fact that we're killing a large amount of soldiers with abortion. Future soldiers.
No, those people are probably poor and destitute.
Soldiers.
It sucks.
There's no rich kids that are soldiers.
Yeah, it sucks that somebody would have to do that. But
and if there are rich kids that are soldiers,
I'm kind of for less people.
That's what I got.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm for less people.
Yeah.
We've already allowed the worst of our society to be able to mate.
Yeah.
The people that
I read about this guy
left in the wild would never survive.
Right, this
are
guy's
allowed to make more people.
Trying to make this CRISPR genetic stuff. I don't know if you've heard about this, but this guy made these twins that are now impervious to AIDS. Okay, which is great. It's a great idea, right? But here's my problem with that. These other people are taking it and they're trying to eradicate everything, like malaria. They want to fucking take these. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. They took these fucking mosquitoes and genetically CRISPR'd them. Okay. Edited their genes so they're both male and female, and the males are gonna go out and they're kind of half slow, and they've got this gene in them that makes them so they're all gonna end up being like this, and they don't bite. Males don't bite. It's only females that bite. Right. So they're gonna drop them in Africa and stop malaria. Okay, all right, because they'll breed out the mosquitoes that bite. Okay, right. Okay, say that happens. 400,000, this is going to sound terrible, but 400,000 people die of malaria a year in that area. Where are we going to house all of them?
Oh, yeah, right.
Now that you've stopped that's natural selection. You're literally stopping the thing that helps Earth keep its stability.
Yeah, it should. We should have a caveat here. It should not all be in Africa.
Well, no.
Let's get that right.
That's not what I'm saying.
Not all of that should take place
malaria,
there.
Well, no, malaria. That's where they want to test.
Specifically,
that's where they want to test it, because that's where most people have been dying of malaria recently. There's a huge outbreak of it. I did not know this. This is on NPR. If anybody wants to check. So that's where they want to test it. But the lady was like, "But we keep them all locked in this fucking 9-lock facility." Because if one got out, we really don't know what would happen. So you're going to go test it on poor people, too? That was my other thing. You're fucking with stuff you don't understand.
Plus, the Earth, I don't know if anybody noticed this, but we're losing a lot of insects.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Why aren't we trying to create more bees?
Yeah, we are seriously in some shit.
Yeah.
Because the insect population, I don't even know, the last however many years, it is dropping at an alarming rate.
Yeah, and then you lose certain insects, and then you lose the ability to have things like wheat. Germination is a thing that happens because of pollination.
Yeah.
Without bees,
and then
that
guess
doesn't
what?
happen.
All those people with all the money were like, we should do something about it. Nah, let them fuck with
But they're
it.
like, oh, yeah.
They're hoarding all the, whatever's left.
Right.
So when the shit hits the fan, they're like, hey, there's no more insects, no more bees. All the plants are dead. You guys are fucked. We're cool, though.
We can make
We got
genetically
this.
modified things. Cool, let's make more bees. No, fuck that. Let's make mosquitoes that stop other things and make more people.
Actually,
No.
the solution to bees is becoming mini drones.
Right, which they probably will do.
If they could do them efficiently, I guess, because you got to do something.
It's
I
gonna
don't
be
think people realize how
Electric bees.
It's
in the
fucking
future.
like
Yeah.
how tenuous our
It's gonna be a
situation here on Earth
Minority
is.
Report Society coming up.
Hey,
Oh
I'm down
yeah,
for
yeah.
it.
That's regardless.
Let's do it. Whatever.
Well, you got more music you want us to
More
do?
music. Let's get into.
We're in the middle of bee talking. Let's
Let's
listen
get-
to some music.
Let's get to. Let's go to Dayton, Ohio for House Ghost, a song called "No Fun Summer." Summer's coming up. Get ready for it. And a band called the Admirality from Columbus, Ohio. A song called "Cloud Watcher." We'll be right back.
thought one so small would endure so much pain. And he did, cannot. He did. Oh.
Constantly searching, consistently lost. He'll wait for the answer, no matter the cost. Dreams of his future and questions his past. The present slips by him, a moment he lasts. Don't say it's just another quest to find his truth. Going frightened himself, for better afraid of something new. Never gives any effort afraid to see the struggle through. With his eyes to the sky, greatness on his mind. Every chance floats by, he's a sad watcher.
How about clouds sometimes? These good clowns.
Oh no!
All right, we're back, guys.
I know.
Did you have more to talk about? What
Well,
else
I have
you
one
got?
other thing. I wanted to talk, since we're talking about celebrities and stuff. We briefly touched on R. Kelly. This fucking
I didn't
guy.
briefly touch on R. Kelly.
Well, I know
about
a
you,
lot of
but
14-year-old girls briefly touched on that.
I did not do that.
But my whole thing is, we've known this is not a new thing. This is that we talked on the last episode
Over
about
20
sex
years,
monsters.
probably.
This is not a new thing.
No.
This guy got brought up on the same shit. Yeah, like 20
Dave
years
Chappelle,
ago.
when was that show?
I'm sorry, 2002,
Yeah.
2003.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is a really old thing. The making fun of it was old.
He had apparently
When Chappelle did it, it was old.
He apparently had a fucking in Chicago, a like cult of women that were young that were just servicing him all the time, 24/7, to make weird tapes. And people are like, "What? You know, like, yeah, he pisses on people and fucks young kids. What do you want me to do about it? Why do I got to hear about it on the news? Arrest him, and then I'll tell you what. Once you convicted him, then you can have news about it. Okay? I'm just sick of hearing about it.
Yeah.
A lot of people
real,
are gonna
man.
like, go against the grain on it and be like standing up for him and stuff.
We heard the owner of the New England Patriots.
Oh yeah.
Busted for prostitution.
Little sports.
God,
Yeah,
it's
you
such.
commented on
It's almost
that,
like
yeah.
a satisfactory
You-
feeling because it's just so.
That guy is so rich.
Yeah.
He owns like like big. He owns more than just that, right?
Yeah, he has
owns,
corporations.
Like, I think he's the
He's
guy
the
that
Kraft.
He bought Pabst Blue Ribbon, brought that back. Twinkie, I believe, was under the Kraft banner at one point after they.
Sure, it's macaroni and cheese.
But
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the macaroni
Randy's
and
like,
cheese
why
guy.
was he paying so cheap
Yeah, why?
money for?
Because he
Rancho?
could. Because he could. That's the only thing I can come up with. And I thought about this. I'm
Yeah.
like, because he could.
Because I
Why
went bought
else?
the Bunny Ranch, and then went there every week and fucked as many people as I wanted to, and legally, and not getting any trouble. And then when it came out of it, people were, "Were you there?" Fucking, oh yeah, I own that place.
Yeah,
I fucked everybody
that's
there.
exactly what I I had heard. But
Yeah.
that's a highly publicized way to do it. Even though they work in discretion, obviously, because people that go to Vegas
Right.
and go there are, it's legal, but it's,
But if
you
you're
don't
taking-
want everybody
Of course,
to know.
he's going to pay someone to
yeah.
jerk him off. Look at how old he
His
is.
wife
Yeah.
died like
2 years
8 years ago.
It was like 2 years ago.
2011, I think.
Oh, wow. I
Yeah,
thought
so
it
it's
was-
been a minute. But he's got a 39-year-old girlfriend.
And
But
maybe he got tired of
could
asking
buy-
her.
But you could buy 3 or 4 girlfriends.
I would have called Charlie
Why
Sheen
would you need...
and said, "How do I do that thing that you were doing for all those years? I'm really richer than you, so I'll
A
get away
lot.
with it." Like, rich people don't make sense to me. Arnold Schwarzenegger fucked his maid, who wasn't very good looking. He's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I love
He could have fucked anybody he wanted to.
Bill Burr's
Yeah.
take on that one.
Yeah.
Was really good.
He's a busy guy. Okay.
Who didn't question the maid?
Yeah. I'm just saying,
Maid
like,
is, her husband in his bed, kids that on a first name basis.
yeah, wealthy people blow my mind because they could go.
Because they can.
Yeah.
It's the only explanation I have for any of it is
Yeah.
because they can. Because, you buy a girlfriend, you like meet somebody that, I want to fuck that person. Hey, so how about I pay your rent and buy you cars?
Right.
And then I just come over and do that whenever
There's
I
a
feel
whole
like it.
website dedicated to it called sugardaddy.com.
So, yeah. the
dead
fact that
serious.
he didn't do that.
You have a login. And
I wish I did. I pray for the day I have money that I will go to sugardaddy.com and be someone's sugar daddy. Because you know why? That's an admirable arrangement. There's no bullshit with that.
For you.
no
Yeah.
disrespect.
Yeah.
And her.
And her, yeah.
Everybody wins.
Oh, he's paying my college tuition. Do you really like him? Not really, but I slap his knob once in a while.
Do you want to hear her complain and talk to you 24/7? No,
No.
not really.
And
I want to kind of do that thing and
Yeah.
then say,
Oh, that's cool. You should have a connection with another human being. Fuck that. I did that once. It hurt. I don't do that
It
anymore.
hurt my
yeah,
heart.
we both
Yeah.
know what this is.
Yeah.
We both know what this
I
is.
pay your Porsche. Now get over here and slap my knob.
Hey.
That's what I was saying. But I would be a lot politer about it. I'd be like, hey, maybe you want to do that. Since
You're
I pay
$60,
your Porsche.
senorita.
Yeah, dude, you don't even have to say anything to your.
That's right.
Your checkbook talks
You know,
for you.
My
Oh
girl,
yeah, and bring out a checkbook too.
my girl would be like Karen Hill from
Like
Goodfellas.
the more zeros you add, that she just gets on her knees. Like,
Do you think
Yeah.
that
A lot
in the
faster.
history of prostitution, do you think in the history of prostitution anybody's ever paid for a trick with like a kitty cat check?
Like, yeah, I bet they have. Big fan of Pokemon.
Like a kitty cat check that has his wife's name on it too.
Yeah, Carol. It's Carolyn. You don't need to worry about her.
She did my hair.
Yeah.
It was Carol and
Carolyn.
Dan Eckerbach. Okay.
I'm going to call your wife.
Now it's just Dan.
I mean, sometimes you just need to go get your socks rocked.
I wrote groceries in the little. Anyways, let's get into some more music here, guys. Gonna go with some SlutBomb out of Cincinnati, Ohio. They're just, I think they're still on an Australia tour. I saw, which would be a pretty crazy,
Short and
thing.
crazy tour.
Like,
Can we get a hold of SlutBomb and tell them that I'd like to go next time they're in Australia? I'll
Yeah,
carry
sure.
amps.
sure.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna follow that up with "The Voice of God" from Dayton, Ohio. A new song called "Dying from Carbon Monoxide Poisoning." We'll be right back.
You're
The last thing I wanted to talk about on this episode is, do you guys suffer from any anxiety? Do you have anxiety?
Yeah, I do.
Because I have it really bad, and I don't think people understand it, and they think I'm just a weird ass. So for all you people that don't have really bad anxiety, I wanted to explain to you in a few simple terms what almost every encounter feels like if I don't... Like, you guys are fine. I know you guys forever.
Yeah.
We're friends. I'm comfortable. But almost every... Like, if picture this. Every encounter I have with someone that I'm not my friend, for me is like if I was on a tight wire, right, and I'm trying to go across it, and I'm balancing just right, and then someone else is coming the other way, and I've got to navigate around them. You know, I've got to like position myself and not die. That's the way it feels. That's the way my reaction is, and a lot of times. I try to get away from most people like the same way you would get away from people like if you're standing next to somebody and they just want to show you pictures of, I don't know, not their kids because that's too
Cats
or
dogs.
Their lamp collection. Like I try to get away from almost everybody as though they are a person showing me a photo of their favorite lamps. You know, I'm just trying to get away. I just feel that there's not enough people that they just think I'm an asshole because I'm like I don't want to. I don't always say hi to everybody. I kind of just try to, when I go into work, I go directly to my area and I start doing my job. And I do talk to people very briefly. I don't have time to, I don't want to chit chat, you know, because of these reasons. And I feel that just, I wanted to note that to people. Anybody that sees me in public at any point in time, that's what my game plan is to try to avoid all that shit.
I get anxious when I'm in more than just one encounter. Like if I have 4 or 5 people I don't know very well around me, right. I get super anxious.
It's crazy.
But as far as like a one-on-one, I can usually soldier through that without much anxiety.
Yeah, but there comes a point. Even I can usually get pretty far into it. But if if we're sitting on about the 7-minute point and we're having a conversation and we've already run out of things,
yeah.
That's where I feel like I'm in a boat where it's got holes in it and there's just water coming up and I got to get out. So that's just my. If you're not an anxious person, if you don't have anxiety, that's what it's like for me. It's a tightrope act that I don't want to be a part of almost every conversation.
Well, I mean, you could just stop doing that.
You can stop being that way.
You just stop.
That's a good advice. I've just been waiting for someone to tell me that.
What's Bob Newhart?
Yeah,
he was on
Mad TV.
Mad TV, yeah.
Just stop it.
Just stop it.
Just stop
it.
But I feel like I have to wash my hands all the time. Just stop. Just stop doing that. Just stop doing that.
Yeah. That's my kind of therapy. Because I don't get it.
You don't get it. You don't get anxiety. Man.
I'm sorry. I'm glad for you.
Good
actually.
for you. And because
I've had, when I've gone up on
I can
stage
go to a different place
times,
if I need to, I guess.
I almost pass out probably every time I step out. Like, it takes every
See,
day.
I don't have that. Because I did trivia for the longest time. So, like, you're in a room with
100 people probably, right?
It was like 70, 60, 70 once it got good. But you're in a room and you got to perform. And, you don't have to make anybody laugh or do anything like that. But everything you say, you know how you get. Like, you just analyze everything. I just am stumbling over. And next thing you know, you can't talk.
Right.
But I had to get over that real quick. And the whole being on stage thing, was fine because I was just playing, instruments. And you don't have to sing or, like, talk to people. So you can just sit there and play whatever. The only time I was really nervous was Alrosa. Right after Dimebag got shot.
Oh, Jesus.
It was like, he got shot in December. And we played in like January.
Yeah,
it was the weirdest fucking, and Fish his arm was broke. He was like, him and Palmer were singing vocals. It was just me. I had a whole side of the stage to myself and Jared was on that. And I was standing right where Dimebag was. I just started shaking, like I couldn't help it. It was more that. I never thought like I'm in danger.
So
nobody
cares
about me.
Thinking about the situation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I that night I was there, and I brought back a Pantera video that I had borrowed from Jason.
Oh,
And I
really?
handed it to him, and I remember Palmer was like, "Don't go waving that around right now."
Oh, yeah.
And that guy died just like 30 days ago.
there's a poor
And I was like,
taste.
"Well, I had to get him back to him, and this is where we're going to meet up."
What the fuck was his name that used to hang around? He like came in we were in the back in the VIP room.
Oh, that was...
And he just came back there like, "Hi, that was pretty fucked up. Like,
That was-
all this stuff happened."
That was Pugs.
Okay, well, he brought it up, and it was the sound guy was there. He was like there when it happened.
Yeah,
and
they were
it
not
was-
in a good mood that month.
Yeah,
That was you were there too, remember?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah, that was one of the worst times I've had out.
Yeah,
No.
it was a weird night, especially after he started running his mouth about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are those the holes in the wall up there? Shut up, dude.
Yeah.
Shut up.
I remember how mad my folks were that I went up there with you guys.
Oh,
My
really?
dad was like, "This is a terrible idea. What are you doing?" I'm like, my friends are playing. Why would they do that? That's an awful idea.
I didn't think about no. I
Yeah.
didn't. That thought didn't even cross my mind
Yeah.
because I'm more like, who gives a fuck? Nobody gives a fuck about us.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're talking about a fucking idol, rock and roll
Right.
fucking idol,
Right.
being in some dunk town and playing at some dive bar, and somebody thought, "Oh, I don't fucking know. This is a good idea, and this is my best chance because he's not playing in a stadium in front of a bunch of people." So
With real
yeah, I
security.
never thought never crossed my mind that somebody was going to do something to me. It was just the idea.
And I
of
had
it,
seen tons of acts there over the years. I never once thought about safety. I didn't.
Yeah.
There's people.
My parents used
no,
to be
you
like
know
that,
nobody
too.
cares about you.
I
That's why
remember-
I
yeah,
am.
yeah, right.
I remember my parents didn't
Shoot
want
you.
me.
It's not
My
worth
parents
it.
didn't want me to go to Lima.
Not
There
worth
was some show in Lima at that theater when we were teenagers,
Uh-huh.
and my parents were like, "No, there was just a shooting over there," and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not in a gang. I'm not involved in some sort of sketchy drug business. There's no reason why I don't have money. It's not like if they like pulled a gun on me, give me your money. Like, you can't fucking bleed a stone, buddy.
Yeah.
What do you want?
What would you like? My pocket lint?
Oh, I remember we played that one place that we had to, I guess, pay security
Oh,
or
really?
something, so we ended up not making anything. It was right in Lima somewhere, but violence had happened there, so we had to
Like
pay
this,
to have extra
like-
security because of that thing that happened.
there's-
We're like
people
metalheads.
always-
We just beat each other up like
Right.
in the pit, and then we all go home.
People act like there's like copycat criminals out there. Like, I'm gonna be like that guy that shot that other guy on the corner in Lima.
Who is that
No.
guy?
I'm his biggest fan.
His leather boots, Jimmy.
Yeah.
No, normally around here, if someone shoots somebody, it's a personal vendetta.
It's crime or
It's
it's,
taken
yeah,
care
it's
of.
passion or benefit. They think they get something out of the deal,
I can
or it's,
see
it's
somebody.
crime of passion.
I
Either one
can
of the
see
two.
a man shoot another man, and not really be concerned unless he was like shooting
Everybody?
going around
He's just
the-
like bang.
Your
bang.
first thought
But
would
if
be
he was
like,
just
he
like-
was really mad at that guy.
If I heard him like arguing and then he was like boom, and then he just like walked away, I'd be like,
I remember I was coming
Yes, I
out of
call the cops.
I was coming out of a strip club on a New Year's Eve. I'm not kidding. Once with a friend and his wife. We went there as an after party with some people, and we get into. He's in an SUV, and we're getting into the SUV, and gunshots go off, and my friend's wife goes, "Oh, somebody's letting off fireworks!" And I grabbed her and pushed her into the car and shut the door and jumped in, and he's laying across the front seat, and all I kept thinking is, man, that guy must have deserved that because they popped off a lot. You know?
yeah.
But then
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that she didn't know that gunfire was different than.
Somebody make a popcorn.
Oh, somebody's lighting up a Twizzler stick over there.
Was it
No,
even close to the 4th of July?
no,
Yeah.
it was fucking New Year's Eve,
Yeah.
and nobody shoots off fireworks in Columbus because they'll arrest you,
Right.
and nobody wants to be that guy. You know?
Yeah.
It could have been at some point,
Yeah.
but it was not because people scattered. There was a guy clearly shot. And I had to sit there for 4 hours, and while the cops came around and talked to everybody, and they're like, "Hey, what happened?" I go, "I don't know. Gunfire. What'd you see? The carpet of that." And I pointed to the SUV, and the guy's like, "Really?" I dove in because I'm not an idiot. So why were you here? To see tits. New Year's Eve, I was sad by myself.
Do you really need the full?
Yeah.
It started. When
Okay,
I was,
and then
12.
Then they let us out. That was it. They were like, "Okay." We'll find the murderer at some
Yeah.
point.
I had a guy I worked with, and he passed away, so don't have to throw him under the bus. He can't get charged with making explosives,
Right.
but he would make homemade fireworks, really big, like quarter stick dynamite type fucking fireworks. And he just brought one up, and he's like, "We're hanging out, smoking a cigarette out back where we work. The building's not even there anymore." And he like, "Hey, check this out." Like uses his cigarette, lights the thing, just fucking throws it, and it's like a grenade or something. That is so fucking loud. And 2 minutes later, all the cops in town are just rolling around like, "Hey, did you guys see anything?" It's probably a motel or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Sorry. I need to cough through your whole story. I was enjoying it.
I thought it added to it.
I thought I was dying.
Yeah.
I think I threw up.
Oh, man.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just saying, though, I coughed that hard, though.
It was similar.
Hard.
Yeah, I could feel a tickle in my throat.
Well, do you have any last words, guys?
Well, as always, shalom, shalay, shalom, shalami.
Exacerbate.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Look that up. Thesaurus.
We're going to hit you with a couple of songs here at the end. Mississippi Bones with the Venkman and Elk. They just put out a music video for this song, so enjoy it. We'll see you next time.
I'm a big fan of elk.
He's an elk head.
I'm an elk head. I love those guys.
Okay.
Yeah, I cross streams in parallel dimensions. I swam through a river of bad vibes. I'm just to save your ass, and I'm a reason that you're alive. So don't send me down a crazy river every time I split a vapor apparition organic guy come knocking at your door. I'd go by dodgy days of you pleasing. I'm a man almost prestige, and not a man of it you respect and dignity. A man of my stature to love. Yeah, I cross streams in parallel dimensions. I swam through a river of bad vibes. Oh, just to save your ass, and I'm a reason that you're alive. So don't send me down a crazy river every time I split the vapor apparition organic guy come knocking at your door. And if you talk to Zulu, tell him there's gonna be a no-show. We're gonna get letters from the hit house on that one. Yeah, I'm coming to the end of the world. That's a fact. Found and bang unpredictable weather. Dogs and cats still living together. And then the killer gonna rise up. Who you gonna talk to then? And then the killer gonna rise up. Who you gonna talk to then? Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Hey, hey, hey. Hey, 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 hey. Taking no soul with me, their liberty, and with a dancing to Jackie Wilson. Getting down to that psychokinetic groove. Come on, come on, come on, come on. 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 Yeah, nigga wanna find out I mean business this time. Send his ass back to the carpet.